Hey you guys, what's going on? It's Teenage Knight, and today I'm here to give you my thoughts on the Red River Shootout game. I do not care what they were calling it in the commentary booth. I think they were calling it the Red River Showdown. No, that is wrong. It is either the Red River Shootout or the Red River Rivalry game. You have one of two options on that. You can choose whichever one you like. I don't know why they didn't just call it the Red River Rivalry. Are you not allowed to say Rivalry anymore? I can kind of understand the shootout thing, maybe, but I don't know why they couldn't say Rivalry. But anyway, final score, Texas got 40, number 20 Oklahoma got 45. We won this game. That's all I care about. This was an incredibly sloppy game. In the first half, it was controlled by defense. Into the first half, it was 14-13. Second half, offenses let go. And it was a ridiculous Big 12 looking game because neither team decided to play defense that half. But anyway, let's go over my two picks for MVPs today. I think I'm going to try to do these weekly now. I think I've kind of done them weekly, but never an official thing. But I think from now on, we're going to have a weekly MVP. But this week, I cannot pick one. First off, we're going to go with Samaje Perine. 35 carries, 214 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Samaje Perine was a monster today. And then the second MVP of this game, D.D. Westbrook. 10 catches, 232 yards, and 3 touchdowns. D.D. Westbrook, for at least this week, is my favorite Westbrook in the state of Oklahoma. I'm just going to leave it at that. Looking at the other stats, Baker Mayfield, 22 of 31, 390 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions, neither of which were his fault. The first one, and sorry, that was my phone in case you heard a weird noise in the background. The first one was dropped by Mark Andrews into the hands of another defender, and he got the pick. And then the second one, I do not care, like if you are a Texas fan, OU fan, a complete, fan that's not even involved in this game, you cannot tell me that was not pass interference on that second interception. That defender lowered his head and just trucked through our receiver. I don't understand how that was a no call. To me, the first half of this game was not called fairly. If you are a Texas fan and you think different, or if you are, a non-biased, other team fan, and you think different, great. That first half, to me, was not called fairly, and I may sound biased as an Oklahoma fan, but that definitely should have been pass interference. And then at least one other play, it was the 30-yard penalty, technically, on Jordan Thomas's pass interference, which was a pass interference. Okay, 15 yards. But then we got called for unnecessary roughness in the backfield, and they showed a replay, and both players, a player from OU and a player from Texas, were both fighting. How did OU only get called on that? That was some complete and total bullshit. And by the way, this series is the only one that makes me cuss. I've noticed that. This series is the only time I cuss on this channel. But anyway, yeah, second half was called a little bit better. I think Texas in the first half only had like 1 penalty for 5 yards. Somehow a team that was averaging 8 penalties a game and playing a rivalry team who had 4 or 5 penalties, I highly doubt Texas only had 1 penalty in that entire first half. But looking at everyone else's stats, get back to that. Joe Mixon, 16 carries for 48 yards, 3 yards a carry. He was really effective in the first half. And then after that, we more or less relied on Samaje just because he was having a monster day, and we just kept feeding him, and it worked out, obviously. And the rest of the receivers, not D.D. Westbrook, we already went over his stats. Dahu Green, 1 catch for 51 yards. That was his first career catch as a Sooner. It was like maybe the 6th ball thrown at him, and the other 5, I think, were drops. But he finally caught one. Congratulations. And then Mark Andrews, 1 catch for 29. He should have at least had 2. Like I said, that one pass hit him right in the chest. He got hit, flew out of his hands, into the hands of a defender. Geno Lewis, 2 catches, 26 yards. A.D. Miller, 2 for 22. A.D. Miller actually got a first down on the play where he got popped. I thought he lost the ball, honestly, but somehow he held on to it, so props to A.D. Miller. Then Dimitri Flowers, 2 catches, 18 yards. Joe Mixon, 3 for 12. And Michael Jones, 1 for 0. How did you catch a 0-yard pass? Did you just immediately get brought down at the line? Okay, whatever. Anyway, yeah. Also on rushing stats, Baker had 4 carries for 20 yards and a touchdown. Fumbles. This was a problem today. Mixon fumbled 3 times and lost 2 of them, and Baker fumbled once. Baker's fumble came at a pretty crucial point in the game. Wish he hadn't have done that because it gave me a heart attack. Luckily, OU was able to recover it. We were able to run down some more clock and then punt it away, and Texas tried that lateral crap. And I was honestly concerned that OU was going to screw up and let someone through and they were going to score. But once I saw, I think there was a forward pass at some point in there. Once I saw that, I was like, okay, we win. Now just tackle him and we're done. Or even if they had let him score at that point, it would have been called back, game would have been over. But anyway, yeah, fumbles were a big, big problem. The defense, like I said, played really good in the first half. Jordan Thomas played really well today. He only had 4 tackles, but he had 4 pass deflections. Granted, one kind of went, up and then into the hands of the receiver. Kind of sucked for Thomas, but other than that, he had a really good day. He even technically made the game-winning tackle. I'd also like to point out on that lateral play, they started out at the 25, and I think Thomas brought him down at the 5. You lost 20 yards on that. They got all the way to the 50 and then worked their way so far back they got brought down at the 5. I thought that was pretty funny. We were also decimated with injuries on the D-line. I think 3 linemen got injured. So hopefully they're all healthy for our next game, which our next game is actually against, I don't remember, Kansas State, I believe. Yes, Kansas State, and that will be next week. All right. Just want to double check. It's another 11 a.m. game. Are you kidding me? Okay. Anyway, it's in Norman. But I want to go over Texas's stats so far. And I want your guys' opinion on this. Now, pretty much my thoughts is done on the Oklahoma game. I thought we played well. I wish our defense was better. I still think Mike Stoops needs to go. He's had several years. The defense has been crap for several years, or at least sections of the defense. Like last season, we had Stryker that kind of saved us, but the secondary was bad. And then Clemson definitely exposed our defense. So I still think Stoops needs to go. Mike Stoops needs to go. I'm not really sure about Bob yet. I don't want him to, but it almost seems like it's his time. But anyway, I want your guys' opinion. Will Charlie Strong get fired before the end of the season? I'm thinking it's a good possibility he gets fired this week. Their next game, which I'm going to pull this up right now, their next game is against Iowa State. If they lose that game, he's gone. That'll be 4 in a row. But let's look at this. This is against FBS opponents. And I'm actually going to punch this into a calculator right now so I can figure this up. Because I just want to make sure that I'm not spewing bullcrap here. Okay, so they let up 47 points to Notre Dame. They only let up 7 to UTEP, but I'm only going to do FBS teams. So they let up 47 to Notre Dame. They let up 50 to Cal. They let up 49 to Oklahoma State, and then they let up 45 to us. So that's 191. Divide that by 4. They are letting up 47.75 points a game in FBS. That is insane. And then just on ESPN stats, this includes the game against UTEP, but they're still letting up 429 yards a game. They've let up 1,099 pass yards. So that's 274.8 a game. I want to go through, and I'm going to cut this, but I want to go through and I want to take out the UTEP game and see how much they're letting up against FBS opponents. Okay, so I went ahead and figured this out. They let up 444 total yards to Notre Dame, 507 to Cal, 555 to Oklahoma State, and 672 yards to Oklahoma. This defense is getting worse, you guys. Literally every game, minus the game against UTEP, they have gotten worse. That is an average of 544.5 yards a game. And also the 47.75 points a game. That is ridiculous. This defense is horrible. They can't tackle. Most of them just tried to strip the ball. That was their problem trying to tackle Pirine, is they kept trying to strip the ball out of Pirine's hands. And then Pirine was just trucking through them. So in my opinion, I don't know if Charlie Strong is going to make it to the end of the week, let alone end of the season. If they lose to Iowa State, no doubt in my mind he's gone. But there is a possibility he's gone before then. I want to know what you guys think. And also if there's anything that you guys want to discuss down in the comments that I forgot about. I think I covered everything. This one's nearly 10 minutes long. But anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed this. I'm so sorry it's out so late. Just my job and everything else. But anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed. And I will talk to you guys next time.